Yeah, let's get started here. So thank you all for attending today. My name is Ken Hetlinger. I'm Client Services Executive here at eCapital. Just as an introduction, eCapital is a advisory firm based up in Bloomington, Minnesota. We've been working in the office of the CFO for about 20 years now. We work in a couple different areas, performance management, advisory, as well as data and science, and that all kind of ties back together to the Office of Finance. We're lucky to have Heather Brown presenting today on the power of the platform, leveraging your OneStream investment. Heather, I will let you take it away.
Great. Thanks everybody for joining us today. I'm probably a new face to many of you. I am relatively new to eCapital. I joined last April, but I have about 22 years experience in the financial application software industry. I was one of the founding employees at Blackline, invented their first generation account reconciliation product. And after that, I founded another small software company that Trintech acquired. That product ultimately became part of the Cadency solution, which is still out there. From Trintech, I spent almost 7 years at Oracle, where I designed and brought to market both the ARM and ARCS solutions, while also taking over responsibility for their financial close product. Now, following Oracle, I took a quick 3-year hiatus to help run a family business before returning to the industry to work at OneStream. Now, while I was at OneStream, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Advanced Application Solutions Group, but that's where I worked. It's kind of like a level 2 support organization. We are the people that got to help all the clients that had the complex problems or customers that had use cases that weren't natively covered by the standard OneStream applications. And it was there that I learned how much I absolutely love the delivery aspect, working with clients to understand their needs and objectives and finding ways to deliver those solutions. So that's why I came over to eCapital, because I get to do exactly that virtually every day of the week. So while working for OneStream, I did learn that many of the clients are absolutely not aware of all of the things that you can do with the OneStream platform. So today's presentation has actually been on my mind for a while. I wanted to help educate clients as to the possibilities that exist within OneStream and why it's possible that the OneStream platform may very well be one of the last CPM applications that you need to buy. So to help explain why this is possible, we're going to talk about what it actually means to be a platform. We're going to discuss the role of the OneStream Marketplace, including applications that I think it would be helpful for you to know about. And then we're going to talk about how you can grow beyond the out-of-the-box capabilities and actually develop your own solution specific to your company's needs if you have an interest in that. And then lastly, we're going to talk about a path for developing proficiency so that you can accomplish all of these great things. So to that first point, if you were to ask anybody in the industry to define a performance management solution, they're probably all going to say pretty much the same thing or just about the same thing. A platform is a solution that provides a full set of features to manage all of the important finance and accounting activities, including financial reporting, consolidations, FP&A, and the financial close. They may also point out that platforms should orchestrate and manage workflow to ensure consistency, compliance, and auditability, but also providing the analytics and dashboarding that's required to manage the business. And what I'm going to tell you is that it's definitely true that a platform should have all of those important capabilities. In fact, it's essential, but it's not actually what makes it a platform. So, what is a platform? A platform is rapid development infrastructure. And as I was thinking about how to explain what this means in non-technical terms, because I can get a little technical sometimes, a proverb came to mind. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So you can translate that proverb into software terms, and it would mean that a company could deliver a set of features for you today that would meet your needs today, and you would be all set for today. Or they could deliver the capability for you to implement what you need when you need it, even if the requirement is very specific to your business and not available as a standard feature. So with this approach, a company truly could meet your needs for a lifetime. So the next question is, it sounds like a pretty tall order. How is OneStream actually able to do this? And the reason is because the early years at OneStream were spent developing tools that enable rapid development of application features. So this includes the ability to define data sources and import data into both relational storage, which we call stage, and into the cube. It includes the ability to code business logic, including buttons that perform actions when you click on them, or business rules that do calculations, and also update data in the relational tables in the cube. It included the ability to define the user interface, which is all the pages that you look at when you're interacting with OneStream, as well as the cube views and reports, and the ability to link all of those different pages and components together into an overall application structure. And then lastly, they developed the ability to integrate with Excel and other Microsoft Office types of applications for data capture, analysis, and reporting. So when you are importing data into OneStream, using forms or Excel to capture inputs from users, running business rules to perform consolidation calculations, or running financial reports using cube views, if you're doing any of those things, you are using the platform. When you used any of the marketplace applications, you're using solutions that were developed on the platform. I can't even begin to emphasize how much effort and cost it took to develop this platform infrastructure, but the benefits are realized absolutely with every new application produced. So how does a platform with its rapid development infrastructure actually benefit you? Like, why should you even care? And probably the most visible reason is through faster time to market for new features. So just to put in perspective, I started working for Blackline. I was employee number 4 way back in 2002. I mean, my son was like 6 months old and he's like 20 now. So that was a long time ago. OneStream was founded 8 years later in 2010. So in just a little more than half the time, OneStream has developed exponentially more capabilities with a pace of innovation, frankly, that's been unmatched by anyone else in this space. They were able to do that because they were building this whole time on the platform. Adding new applications isn't like developing from scratch. It's more like assembling using a toolkit. So you're going to continue to benefit as OneStream grows. We're going to discuss in a couple of minutes. There are more than 50 applications that have been developed on the platform, with more on the horizon. And probably the most exciting benefit, certainly to me anyway, is that the platform is open for development by anyone. You could build on it. Anyone watching this presentation could. I can build on it. Anyone can. So if we think about what that means to us in business, any of those pesky manual processes that just don't fit into off-the-shelf financeware because they're specific to your business and method of operation, they're not automatically destined to remain manual forever. And because of this, you can and should feel good about investing in the training that you need to develop the proficiency on the platform, because you're going to use these skills in so many different areas. Your users are going to benefit because all of the solutions developed on the platform are going to share the same general user experience. So it doesn't matter if you're rolling out a dashboard for financial reporting, a planning application, or some other use case, the look and feel, how things work, the system navigation, it's all going to be the same, which is going to ease training and ongoing support. Now, for any of you who recently went through a OneStream purchase decision, this slide probably looks familiar to you because I shamelessly stole it from their sales presentations. I do think it provides a nice visual explaining how the OneStream platform fits into the overall accounting and finance landscape, and how the platform provides solutions for financial data quality, financial close and consolidation, reporting and analytics, financial signaling, and of course, planning, budgeting, and forecasting. The reason I stole the slide, though, is because it does a nice job of highlighting the role of the OneStream Marketplace, which is what we're going to talk about next. So think about your own personal usage of technology. Just like you can extend your iPhone with additional applications that you download from the App Store, OneStream offers over 50 solutions that customers can download, configure, and deploy onto the platform to quickly address new requirements. So the OneStream Marketplace, if you've never been there before, is located at xfmarketplace.com. Once you're here, click on Solutions to explore the available applications. Within the solution sections, you can browse available applications. You could click to see filter down by what's most popular or been recently updated. You could filter by functional area, or you could search by keyword. If you don't want to do any of those things, you can simply navigate using the directional arrows and kind of browse through the library of applications. So as of the date that I drafted this presentation, there were 54 applications currently available for download, all free of charge. 23 of those are in productivity, 8 in training, 7 in financial close, 7 in planning, 4 in reporting, 3 in compliance, and 2 in advanced analytics. Today, I'm going to be focusing on 3 broad categories of these applications: popular functional applications, what I would call the administrative must-haves, and some other personal favorites of mine. So starting with the popular functional applications, we're going to start up here on the left and kind of move our way through. OneStream Financial Close, which is often called OFC for short, is the go-forward name of the application that contains account reconciliations, RCM, and transaction matching, TXM. Now, in the past, RCM and TXM used to be available for separate download. And in fact, if you go out to the marketplace, you'll still see them out there. Don't download those. Those are old. What you want is OneStream Financial Close. And going forward, they're going to continue to get packaged into this OFC application due to the tight integration between them. So talking about RCM, if you've never worked with that before, RCM, Account Reconciliations, is a reconciliation compliance solution. It tracks the list of accounts that are required to be reconciled. It sends email reminders for work that needs to be done, and it facilitates preparation using a variety of methods. It functions as a document repository. So that means it captures all of the reconciliation files and supporting attachments. They're uploaded as part of the preparation process, and then they're kept there for safekeeping and accessed by approvers or auditors or anyone else who needs to access those materials. Transaction matching, or TXM, make sure my windows are opening. All right. It performs matching of transactions within a data set or across 2 or even 3 data sets. So transaction matching facilitates preparation of reconciliations by identifying the list of transactions that remain unmatched as of the end of the period. While TXM was probably originally intended for financial reconciliation use cases like bank reconciliations, intercompany, high volume accrual and suspense accounts, I have a surprising number of clients that are actually using it for operational reconciliation use cases where they're verifying that various transactional data sets are making their way across back office systems. Now, transaction matching does integrate with account reconciliation where it needs to send across the list of unmatched transactions that would comprise the period end reconciliation. I've heard from product management that OFC, OneStream Financial Close, is going to continue to grow to include other applications. There's been talk of a journal entry management feature, intercompany hub, and more. So this is definitely one you should keep your eye on. Task Manager, let's talk about that. Task Manager is an application that tracks performance of tasks across different functional areas. Certainly the primary use case is for tracking financial close tasks, which is all of those activities that have to take place in order for you to be able to close the books and generate your financial reports. When it comes to managing those tasks, it's more than just a tracking tool. You can configure tasks to actually perform actions, like it can go out and open a dashboard, it can initiate a data management sequence, it can navigate to a URL, or even open a workflow. Tasks can be set up to first check other conditions, like it can go check to see if the GL is closed, and only if it is closed, then take action on certain dependent tasks. Now, in addition to the task list feature itself, it also includes charts and dashboards, so including the standard project management Gantt charts, as well as performance charts that are used for monitoring completion. Just as a closing remark, I want to make note that we've talked about Task Manager in the context of managing closed tasks, but it's not limited to that. This just happens to be probably the most common use case that I've seen it used. You can use it to track any type of task. So if you have other important business processes, Task Manager can manage those too. All right, tax provision. The OneStream tax provision, there we go, solution automates and streamlines the tax provisioning process it includes a full application. It is a full application that provides an accelerated path to building out a customized OneStream financial model. So it's intended to provide computations for things like consolidated current and deferred taxes under US GAAP. And in addition to that, it provides a framework for computing the impact of tax return true-up, the impact of tax rate changes, roll forward on tax accounts, and the computation of effective tax rate reports and other financial statement disclosures. The solution is a framework for the tax provision calculation. And since everyone's calculation is going to differ, it's important to note that this solution is intended to accelerate a custom implementation. It's not something you can just download and plug in and have it, do its thing. You gotta do a little work on that, but it's certainly worth the effort because it's an amazing product. Now, the marketplace planning applications, which are all these on the bottom row here, are what we call register-based planning applications, and they're designed to enable rapid deployment of driver-based planning solutions for different functional areas. The term register-based planning may not mean anything to you. So when I use that term, what I mean by is that OneStream can actually perform two different types of planning calculations or approaches to planning, depending on where the data resides. So when you're running forecast calculations, for example, on financial results, it's possible that you may be able to model that directly in the financial cube using finance business rules. However, if the modeling requires access to data that doesn't reside in the cube, which is often the case with a lot of the lower level planning exercises, then the planning occurs in what's called a register table. They're just additional tables that exist within the OneStream environment to store the information needed for those planning models. These specialty planning applications that you're seeing down here simply provide a solution for performing that register-based planning. When you install it, it installs those register tables for you and provides features for uploading model data and configuring driver details. Each of the applications is intended to cover a different functional area. So people planning, make sure it's opening my pictures here. Perfect. People planning is a purpose-built application designed to model and develop workforce plans using drivers and dynamic calculations to project the cost of new hires and changes in compensation, benefits, travel, and other related people expenses. Capital planning provides a similar feature, but it's for fixed asset planning. Thing planning covers investment planning. Cash planning covers cash forecasting or cash planning. And sales planning covers sales force planning. The next category of applications that I want to talk about are the administrator must-haves. These applications provide some really important functions related to the management and configuration of OneStream environments. We're going to start with system diagnostics. System diagnostics is the new name for the application that used to be called Diagnostics 123. So this application enables system administrators to monitor the overall health and performance of your application, and it provides metrics that help understand data volumes and where you may run into performance issues. The overall goal of this particular app is to make sure that the OneStream environment and applications are appropriately sized and efficiently configured. So this is definitely one that I think all admins should get familiar with. One of my favorite features provided within system diagnostics is the ability to recycle IIS. That's kind of a technical thing, but if you've ever been working on development of a process in a development environment, which I have had to do on occasion, you may find that you have to reset that. And with cloud applications, it can be kind of a pain. You have to normally log a ticket. So I just wanted to point out that you actually don't need to log a ticket. If you're an admin with the appropriate security rights, you have access to that function directly within system diagnostics. The analysis features within system diagnostics provide an excellent early warning indicator of potential performance problems within an application. So you definitely want to keep an eye on these, the traffic light signals specifically, because if you see something that's yellow or red, it's probably worth taking a look at. And just to point out how valuable these indicators are, these are the same tools that are used by OneStream consultants, including like the AAS team that I used to work for when they're performing paid application reviews. So you have access to the same information that we did right at your fingertips. All right, next I want to talk about Application Control Manager. Application Control Manager, which is also called ACM for short, supports and manages user change requests to ensure the right level of control and governance over application metadata changes. So with ACM, you can read and detect metadata changes in GL and ERP systems, data warehouses, and other MDM tools, and synchronize those changes to OneStream. You can also provide an easy way for users to request changes to OneStream applications, including metadata. Process Blocker. I found this one recently. This is a nifty little utility. It enables you to prepare for software upgrades by proactively blocking the initiation of any data quality or data management process that would otherwise be interrupted by a planned upgrade. So the alternative to using something like Process Blocker would be to send an email to all of your users saying, hold off, don't start any data loads because I'm going to upgrade either platform or applications, and then only to find out that some user somewhere on the other side of the world forgot and started a long running data load right in the middle of your upgrade window. Process Blocker would prevent that from happening. All right, next one, Metadata Builder. Metadata Builder is going to offer value to anybody that's going through a configuration exercise where you would be having to add metadata dimension members like entities, accounts, or any of the UD dimensions. So it gives you Excel spreadsheets where you can just enter it in, in a more user-friendly format, and it produces the XML formats that are needed by the platform to load those into the solution. I'm not sure how much clients end up doing a lot of this work post-implementation, maybe on phase 2 types of projects, but I will tell you that we use it all the time when we're doing our initial loads. And then the last one in this category that I want to talk about is Parcel Service. So Parcel Service is part of OneStream's extensible document framework, which is what they call it. It provides, basically, provides report book and document distribution capabilities. It allows you to create document packages or package groups that can be shipped, basically emailed or copied to a file share based on predefined distribution settings. So you can also do it on demand from the home page if you're a user, or you can schedule them to occur using the task scheduler automation within OneStream. All right, so the next topic that I want to talk about are the other favorites of mine. So this is the last section, other favorites of mine. The help desk solution is used to provide business users with a framework for managing user issues and requests within a company by implementing a simple ticket-based support desk. So, when I saw this application out there, I immediately started thinking that if I were an admin, I would be using this to manage things like reconciliation reassignment requests from preparers and approvers, or task reassignment requests in Task Manager. And I think that the same concept really could be applied to any of the other marketplace apps. Ticket types within Help Desk are configurable, so you could use this application really to manage any administrative process. The Train Me solution provides a method for distributing and viewing pre-recorded training videos. So basically, it's just a framework where you can upload that content and share it to the users within the OneStream organization. If I were an admin, I would be recording everything and uploading how-to video content for every recurring question that I receive from users. Standard queue view styles. What are these? This is basically a download that contains a predefined set of queue view styles that can be imported into any OneStream application. And why do you care about queue view styles? Well, because if you go to build a queue view, which is a pretty common thing that people need to do when they want to view data into OneStream, it's going to keep you from having to apply formatting to everything that you're going to build. So formatting includes things like font size, font style, font color, background color, margins, all of those little nitty-gritty settings that are what causes an application to look good, to be attractive, but it would take a lot of time to configure them correctly and consistently. So these styles are basically parameters that you put into your definitions, and they can be applied to cube views, but also dashboard components like labels, combo boxes, and grid column settings. So by using these standard cube view styles, which you can customize, by the way, to make them look how you want them to look, you ensure that your applications and reports maintain a consistent look and feel while offering a huge time saving in the development process. All right, sample templates. Sample templates are, it's basically a set of files that can improve the efficiency during a build of a OneStream application or an extension to a OneStream application. The one that I have found most helpful within here is the default pass-through transformation rules. For anyone that's had to build transformation rules, this is what allows OneStream to translate source data that you pull into OneStream into the target dimension members. And you have to have transformation rules for whatever data you pull in. But if you're doing projects that involve things like transaction matching, where there isn't usually a lot of transformation of the data, you still have to have one of these. So suffice it to say that this is kind of like a starter pack for some of the things that would otherwise take quite a bit of time to implement. So definitely worth taking a download, looking through it and seeing what's in there. I had another one of my colleagues find something else in there that helped them load driver details for a register planning application. So there's lots of hidden gems in there. File Explorer Manager. This one extends OneStream's native File Explorer functionality with additional file and folder management capabilities. So most important, it includes the ability to copy, move, download, and delete files in bulk. It also includes the ability to sort, reorder, and filter folder content. It also has a recycle bin and an activity log where you can see what users have done. So when I used to work at OneStream, one of the most common requests that I would get related to RCM, which is the product that I supported most, was how do I download in bulk these 2,000 audit packages that I just exported for my auditors for all of my account reconciliations? If you tried to do that through the native file feature that OneStream has, you would have to do it one by one and you would be literally driving yourself crazy. So File Explorer Manager is an application that lets you grab them all and download them in one fell swoop. So definitely something you're going to want to take a look at. All right, Table Data Manager. Well, this probably, if I'm honest, is one of my all-time favorite applications within the marketplace. So, and it's just simply because I like to build things. And so this application is what allows you to create and manage data tables that you might be adding into your database environment as part of a build of some custom solution. So the reason it's important is, think of it this way. So if I'm building on my local environment that we host at eCapital, if I need to add a table to store data, I can just remote desktop into my server, open up SQL Server Management Studio and pop that table in there. Well, you can be sure I'm absolutely not going to be allowed to do that for any client environment or for any other environment that's hosted in the OneStream cloud. So this is where Table Data Manager helps. It's super easy using this application to define new tables, modify the structure, view the data that's been imported into those register tables, and you even drop the table if you need to. Snippet Editor. This is an application that's used to create and edit OneStream code snippets, and it also it comes out of the box with pre-tested developer reviewed code samples, which is going to accelerate the learning process for anyone that is doing some custom development. Now, it's going to take some time and discipline to train yourself to get in the habit of capturing new snippets that you might use, but I can assure you it's going to pay off over time. Like, I don't know how many times that I've had to write a function on how to translate a value from one currency to another. I can just open Snippet Manager now and just grab that pre-saved code, paste it into whatever business rule I'm working on, and save myself a lot of grief. Then the last one here is XML Security Remover. So again, this one's been out there for a long time. I'm not sure how often clients get into this use case. Certainly partners do heavily, but it's a way to take any application extract, whether it's dimension members, dashboard components, business rules, whatever, and strip off the security settings from it. So this would be needed if you're migrating any of these configurations from one environment to another where the second environment doesn't have the same framework database. So what it does is changes all of those security references to use the administrator or everyone user group. It's your choice. So clearly, we're going to use this extensively when we're importing client application files, so that we can migrate across and use the client's metadata without having it all break. So we've just spent a pretty decent amount of time talking about some of the frankly awesome applications that are available for free within the OneStream Marketplace. Some of these applications are specifically designed to help with development of custom applications on the OneStream framework. Like I talked about Table Manager, that's one that is specifically for that use case. So I actually had the opportunity to read an article recently. It was a blog post that was published by a OneStream competitor, and the article was pretty disparaging of OneStream's platform architecture, painting the ability to build custom applications on the platform as some sort of a negative. And it just like really caught me off guard. I was perplexed by that approach, and I started thinking about it. I mean, I could sit here and disparage a Ferrari as being complicated to drive compared to my Maxima, but the truth of the matter is they're both pretty easy to drive with the right skills and training. But the Ferrari is going to offer a lot more performance than I'm ever going to see with my trusty Maxima. And if I want to learn how to become a professional race car driver, then I might have to invest a little bit of time in learning the skills, but that doesn't make it a negative. So here's how I see it. Having spent, nearly 25 years in this space, some processes, no matter what attempts you make to standardize them, are going to remain very specific to your business. So when you have these kinds of unique processes, you really have only 4 options available to you. You can continue your manual labor-based process, but labor isn't cheap and it's getting harder to find. So personally, I think that's a pretty risky strategy. You could force your process to fit existing software you own, but if that were possible, I have to assume you'd have done it already. Third, you could buy a different software product that fits your process, but if your process is really that unique, good luck finding one. And even if you do, now you're stuck with the cost of owning and maintaining it. And from my point of view, I would avoid buying point solutions whenever possible, because no matter what the salespeople tell you, they're not cheap to maintain. Your only other option then is to develop and deploy a tailored solution on your existing CPM platform. Now, is there a cost to that? Sure. You have to build it, you have to test it, and you have to retest it following upgrades to the platform code. Is it cheaper than buying a whole new solution? It may be, and it's certainly a viable option that's worth considering. So I wanted to consider one such use case that we recently encountered. We have a client, one of my favorite clients, who has a very complicated revenue adjustment accounting process. They sell insurance policies and they earn commission on the sale of those policies. The problem is the amount of commission isn't known with certainty when the policy is sold. It's based on metrics, if I understand the process correctly, that could change over the course of the year. So accounting regulations require that the revenue adjustment, which could be positive or negative, that it be recognized in the month that the adjustment becomes known. So that creates a need for a business process that can support monthly modeling based on hundreds of thousands of data elements that use a very complicated set of if this, then that logic. This particular client, when we began our relationship, wasn't actually an existing OneStream client. They weren't using it for consolidations, planning, or anything else, but they had heard about the flexibility of the platform architecture and wanted to see if they could meet their use case. So as part of a much larger business transformation project that's being led by an amazing partner organization, friends of ours, we were brought in specifically to address the OneStream proof of concept for this very specific use case. And we had 3 weeks to develop a POC application. We spent the first 4 days understanding the use case and mocking up a wireframe diagram, which is kind of like a sketch of like what we thought the screens could look like. And then after we got sign off on the wireframe diagram, we delivered a pretty functional POC application 3 days later. 3 days later. So clearly, the full product development cycle is expected to take a lot longer, about 4 months, 3 to 4 months. But the important point to note here is that this isn't a solution that could have been purchased anywhere, even if they wanted to. It's specific to their business process, and with OneStream, we were and are able to develop a cost-effective option. So my favorite saying these days is, when it comes to OneStream, if you can think it, you can build it. We have so many examples that we can share about fun projects that we've developed on the platform. One of my clients needed an intercompany netting solution, which provided a simple way for AP payers to look at the list of invoices that were presented against them and to say, yep, I approve this one, or nope, I flat reject this one. And then we extract the approved invoices for upload into a treasury netting solution. Another client of mine wanted a reconciliation completeness check solution. It's like a custom dashboard that did some extra validations to make sure that every account that needed to be reconciled was in fact being reconciled. Another client developed a dynamic risk rating process that went through all of their accounts and dynamically assessed a level of risk based on conditions affecting that reconciliation, and taking into consideration a static risk element that was based on the nature of the account itself. So that dynamic rating process ensures that accounts that are delivering higher levels of actual risk are subjected to scrutiny by a real person every month. Another client wanted a solution to facilitate audit sampling of reconciliations. It uses an algorithm to identify the reconciliations that they felt would contain the highest degree of risk and provides a mechanism to easily access those. Moving over to the planning use cases, we had a client that wanted to import the fixed asset planning register and a human resources report into the register-based planning solutions, but they wanted to do that through OneStream's stage import function, because there's a lot more power and flexibility if you can import through stage, because you've got your data source definition capabilities where you can manipulate the data, ignore certain columns, and all that sort of thing. So for this client, we were able to build on the platform and leverage that function to import those planning applications. For another client, we also leverage stage loads to automate the import of metadata, including account dimension members and user-defined dimension members. That was kind of an interesting project, because remember when I talked earlier about those templates that let you upload dimension members easily? We're using kind of the same approach. We take the data, load it into stage, we find out what's net new, and we mimic the production of that XML string and facilitate the load of that directly through OneStream. And then lastly, for me, myself personally, because I absolutely detest manual processes, I built myself a client billing solution that takes time reported through our time reporting system, and then it outputs it in a format that I can use to prepare my bi-monthly status reports that I send to my clients. It provides backup to the invoices that they're going to receive from my boss. So I hope you found the information that I have shared with you today to be helpful. I realize, I can get really excited about stuff that can be somewhat technical, and it can seem, intimidating to folks, I think, to look at everything that I've talked about and think, oh, we're never going to get there. And I wanted to remind everyone, it's perfectly okay to use OneStream just for the standard features that are available on the platform or through any of the 54 marketplace applications that would be helpful to you. And if I'm honest, the majority of the clients that I support are doing exactly that. But my goal today was to let you know what's possible. If you wanted to do more, I have recommendations for you. I'm relatively new to OneStream. I've only been in the space for about 3 years now. And when I got started, I took the level 2 reporting class and a level 3 dashboard class. Both of those, I think, had prerequisites, if I recall correctly. But after those 2 classes, I started building my own dashboard solutions, and then I went up from there. And I'm not a developer by background. I'm a CPA and I'm techie, but my background and strength is in finance. So I would encourage you to do exactly that. There's been some changes recently to the training course where I don't know anymore what the prerequisites are to those, but I would look in that general direction, and that's what I would be focusing on. And then I would start with a simple reporting use case that your company has today. leverage code snippets in that snippets application that I talked about earlier today, and other dashboard extender rules that aren't encrypted as models to follow. And I'm going to give you a really big hint here. The best product that I can think of to use as a code farm is account reconciliations. And the reason why is it's one of the most functionally rich applications that retains a decrypted structure in its business rules. And you can find virtually every user experience use case lurking inside of it. That's where I spend, if I'm trying to figure out how to do something, I go look at the account reconciliations application and see where it was done there, and I trace backwards to find the code that actually does what that function is doing. And then lastly, follow good design principles. Document first. Build your wireframe sketches that show, what you're trying to present. Think through all the use cases that your end users are going to need to have. Think. Make sure that the design captures all of those use cases, and then build once you have an approved design. You're going to save yourself a tremendous amount of headache. So that's all I had for today. I think we'll go ahead and open up the floor if anybody has any questions.
Marissa, were there any questions out there?
Not that I can see.
Okay, great. Very good. Well, we will send this out to everybody today. Thank you so much for coming. We do appreciate it. Heather, thank you as always. Great presentation. And, I just love hearing all the use cases because it's just fabulous, because too many people think just about that financial close, that planning, but there's so much more that you can do with the platform.
Awesome, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.